Hey, what's up, and welcome back to Interpreting the Stars, where today I have a brand new film to talk to you guys about coming out of Gravitas Ventures on October 22nd. It's No Future. No Future is ultimately a drama about a recovering drug addict who, after the tragic overdose of his best friend, returns home where he's reunited with Claire, his friend's grieving mother, with whom he begins a secret but volatile affair with. You know, after so many different horror films that I've been reviewing lately, especially this month, it's sometimes good to break away from that mold to take a look at drama. You know, I feel like it's been forever since I've just sat down and watched a good drama. And at the heart of No Future, that's exactly what it is. It's a good and even important drama that at the end of the day tackles a million different themes and topics that are hard to discuss. Themes like shared misery, guilt, experiences altogether, death, and especially addiction. And not just addiction to drugs, no, that's how it starts, but addiction to ideas and people. This affair that this guy has with this older woman, the mother of his best friend, that's weird, no doubt, but it makes sense. She's the only person that knows what he's going through, and the same goes vice versa. And while he could go to a meeting to talk about his feelings like he can with drugs, it's not the same thing as if you're talking to somebody else about the same things that they feel too. And the affair bit is like, it's just trying to get a fraction of pleasure in order to feel better, even if it's just momentary. I found that to be extremely human, relatable, and sad. And truthfully, as weird as it is, these two had chemistry. It's the kind of chemistry that you don't immediately see them as, you know, a couple. I mean, you do look at this relationship as something that has, as the title suggests, no future. But it does make sense for what it's worth, and I bought into it. It should also be mentioned that there's great acting across the board. Everybody here is killing it in their performances, which I imagine is insanely difficult when you're talking about grief, specifically, and how that affects people differently. The way this film approaches that stuff is diligent and real, and I don't have a ton of horrible things to say about this movie when it comes down to negatives. I mostly have one thing, and that's the fact that it's sometimes a little bit sleepy, at least to me. It won't be the same for everybody since this is sort of a coming-of-age structure, where nobody is trying to do anything specifically other than, you know, feel something. So you have characters that serve the function of emotions, but narratively, it's not trying to be much of anything, which for some people, you know, they won't care that it's like that. For me, I just end up thinking that it could have been a little bit better in some areas, at least in those regards. Other than that, though, this film is definitely solid. I think it'll speak volumes to crowds everywhere. It has an important message at the heart of it. So let's go ahead and break down my final score. From a technical and biased perspective, I enjoyed a lot of what this film was doing in terms of acting, cinematography, chemistry, and the moral to the story. So much going on there is just, it's the bread and butter of what the movie is all about, and they did it magnificently. However, a lot of other aspects are neither great nor horrible for me, like visuals or editing or music or sound choices. None of that stood out to me as specifically great or horrible, just typical stuff, meaning that the film was solid, but it could have been better at the end of the day. This score is 76%. As for how I personally felt about it, or my bias score, this is a little bit lower than that, but not by much, because I definitely did have a good time with it. I felt for these characters, and I related to them in certain ways, but some parts still felt sleepy for me, so my bias score is 70%, meaning that at the end of the day, when we combine the two scores together, we come to the final rating of 73%, 73 out of 100 possible stars, or a B- letter grade. Guys, have you seen No Future? And if so, let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. And as for YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button, and bell to be notified when I come out with my next review. And until then, peace out.
Dave examines movies we just watch for fun. Davey is the expert. He is the #1.